if you don't believe this, I mean, if you don't believe that Tommy Migrant's business right now is only a reflection of the change that's taken place in his life, because I guarantee you, I've known him for almost 3 years now. He's one of the most stubborn guys I've ever met in my life. He's going to do his thing, right? And so you ask Tommy 2 years, how you doing? Nobody worked harder than he did, but he was not skilled because his life was messed up, and he knows it, and he was messed up. And so that's why he can stand up here and say to you, get your life together, because if it's not together, you're not going to succeed in this business. True. And his business is in complete proportion to the fact that he's a different person. Gosh, I wish I could get that through to you. Yeah. Christine Dwyer is skilled in this business because she's different than she was when I first met her. Not because of me, but because of her. You know, you don't just get in this thing and all of a sudden you have all these big network marketing skills. Right? Most of us have none of them. Most of us go through life very unskilled. Most of us go through life living on all the crud that's happened to us in our life and bringing it forward. And you think because you become a Beachbody coach, that stuff's gone. Trust me, it isn't. It's still there. So what do we do about it? You know, what do we do about it to make a change? So how are you doing? How are you doing today? That's what we have to look at. Because like, I love when Tommy came up the second time, he said, until you can go step 2 here, until you, like Kobe, until you grab step 2 inside, which you were so honest about your life. You know, Jeanette's totally honest about her life. Unless you can go step 2 here, you can't go step 2 there. And you know the good part about that is we're in control of that, you guys. You want to grow in the business, then change. You want to grow in the business, then go through the crud you got to go through to get yourself at a different place. You know, whether it's physically or, you know, inside, outside, both of those things. And that's what we all need to do. It's not a, it's, you know, it's struggle. You know, life isn't going to stop so you can go 15-star. You know, you're not going to all of a sudden your husband in your relationship, oh God, we're perfect now. I don't know, it's just we're going 15-star. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. You know, your kids still don't get potty trained right away even when you're 15-star, right? I mean, things are just going on. That's life, that's struggle. That's kind of the way we move forward. You know, it's just better than regrets later. I always talk about that. But you know, life's going to be a struggle for you. But you know what? You decide, what am I going to do about it? And for me in my life, you know, I think about my life. And, you know, I grew up in a really, like Tommy's talking about a crap home. Christine didn't have the greatest upbringing. It's kind of amazing people that succeed high, that choose to, that have DNA, that they never use their past as an excuse. They use it as a reason. And for me in my life, a lot of it was, why me? Why did I get abused? Why did my mom an alcoholic for 30 years? Why were we poor? Why was I embarrassed going to school? Why did my mother get pregnant out of wedlock when I was in the 6th grade and I was humiliated going to school every single day? Why did my mom drink with my youngest brother who's now 38 years old and he has the mentality of a 12-year-old because he has fetal alcohol syndrome? Why did my mom do that? So it was why me, why me, why me? And some of you live there. Some of you live at this place in your life, why me? Why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? And it just holds us back. Because until you figure out why you, and you add one word, just add one word and it'll change your life. Why not me? Amen. One word. Today, add one word to that. Why not me? Because then all the stuff that you went through ends up being a blessing in your life because you see purpose in it. Without understanding that, and without saying, why not me, then everything that happened is nothing but negative. And we live there. And some of us wear it as a crown. We put it on our heads. Yeah, I had this terrible life, so that's why I'm where I'm at. And we don't actually do it openly, but we do. We just live there. And it allows us the freedom to stay there. You know what I love about the people in this room and leaders and the kind of people I love associating with? Is they don't allow that to happen. They're the ones in your face and saying, no, that's not acceptable anymore. That's what you do in people's lives. You know what? 50 pounds overweight, 100 pounds overweight, no longer acceptable. And I'm here to be with you to change that. Because as you know what it is, oh, you too? I thought I was the only one. That's when friendships are born. That's when downline grow. That's when diamonds break. Oh, you too? I thought I was the only one. When that point happens, and there's that relatability, and someone now realizes that you may be the first person in their life who ever said, you know what, I believe in you, like Melissa, Jeanette. What's the last, I'm sorry, what's your name? Jeanette, that's right. Jeanette, like in the kitchen. You're a leader even if you're not there yet. I mean, that seems like, what's a big deal to say that? It changed her life because she took her eyes off herself and gave her a blessing. just said, here, I'm going to bless you right now. And I'm going to bless you by believing in you. I'm going to bless you by telling you you can be something that nobody ever thought you could in your life. And you know what? I don't really care where you've been. It doesn't really matter what your past is. That's what I love about our business. Nobody recruits somebody. I don't call up John and say, hey, you want to see my business? Hey, give me a resume. I want to see what you've accomplished in your life. I want to see how much you've screwed up your life. Right? I don't even go there. I say, well, where do you want to go? That is such a blessing we give to people. You know, in my life, in my network marketing, same experience like Tommy had. I was a mess. Right? I had to just, my sponsor finally said, dude, you may not want to drop F-bombs when you're sharing the business from stage. I'm going, dude, what's up with that?
Oh, that's so mean.
I was a cop, I worked construction. That's how you talk. You make your point that way. How you effing doing? And he said, you might not want to do that. You might want to change a little bit. Like, who wants to change, right? People say, oh, change. Yeah, everybody's excited about that. Changing hurts. Changing sucks. Like working out sucks. I love when people are honest and are big in this business. They'll post, I don't even want to work out today. Not even Charlene posts that to me. I don't feel like it today. I'm going to do it, but I don't feel like it. Oh my God, you're a 9-star diamond. You don't feel like working out. I thought all of a sudden when you got the 5-star, they gave you an injection. You love to work out. What the hell is that? You don't like to work out? That's crazy stuff. Who likes to change? Who likes to look at their past and say, you know what? You've wallowed in this for so long, and you've used it as an excuse, and now someone's giving you this gift. A gift of hope, a gift of opportunity, a gift to change, a gift to say, I'm done with this, and you're going to walk away from it? Are you kidding me right now? Come on, you guys, look at what you have. This message today that you got from Tommy and the leaders, and Christine and Charlene and Melissa and all the people who spoke, you guys, this is the message of this business. I built a network marketing company. I had thousands and thousands of people in my downline. Started with me, like Tommy said, me, 5, 25. Same formula, same thing. But the thing that I understood was that once I believed in you, you became what I believed you to be. Mm-hmm. If I believed enough in you, you're going to become what I believe you to be, because no one else in your life is believing in you. And a lot of us kind of have that story, including our own folks, including our own family. Right? But what are we going to do with it today? We're going to use it as a reason not to move on? Or are we going to use it as a reason to move on? I saw an interview on TV. I don't know how many of you saw it, but there was an interview on TV of twins. 2 guys, right? It was fascinating. It was on 20, some shows. It was a while back. Twins. I think they were in their 40s. One of them was serving a life sentence in prison. The other one was an extremely multi-millionaire, beautiful family, most success. They asked the guy who was the most successful, he goes, why'd you do what you did? He said, hey, my parents were both drug addicts. I grew up in a home where I was abandoned. He goes, I was abused as a child. He said, there was no success in our life, that we barely had food to eat. I had no choice. The guy in prison, they asked him, and he said the exact same thing. My parents were addicts. We had nothing in life. I never had anybody to look after me. I never had anything. I was abused as a child. Where else would I be? Same thing. You have 2 people, twins. One serving a life sentence, one having success in their life. Why? Choice. It's choice, you guys. And I just want to take away some of your excuses today. Because if you got a problem, if you're a single mom here today and you say, I just don't have time to build this business, I can bring you up, I can give you phone numbers of single moms ripping this business up.
Yes.
You know, if you're sitting here today and you say, well, you don't know, Craig, I had this terrible past. I had all these awful things happen to me. I was divorced and all. You know what? I'll introduce you people that are divorced, have had awful pasts, that are killing this business. Whatever excuse you come up with today when you leave here, so you can stay where you are, because that's what you're doing. You're creating excuses to stay where you are because it's comfortable. It's safe. Otherwise, now I got to look in the mirror and say, if he's right, if Christine, if these, Tommy, if they're right with what they're saying, then I now can make a choice to change my life forever. If I look in the mirror, that's the choice I can make. That scares the crap out of me. Because with that comes responsibility. No more excuses. No more saying this isn't for me. No more, whatever you've been using to stay where you are needs to be eliminated in your life. Because I believe in, this business, you guys, I've been around it for 30 years. I built a huge organization. And you know what the message was that I kept getting out there? And when I first started, not when I started working with Christine, but when I started working with Beachbody, I got a little criticism. You always talk about the why. You always talk about the why. You always talk about relationships. We want to know how to sell products. I said, you move people by moving them with moved people, products, right? So I just kept preaching the same thing. Here it is, you guys. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. You can't get away from it. You can't get around it. You want to duplicate. You want to build a team. You want people to be in love with you. You want people that would do anything for you in the world. You got to love on them. You got to believe in them. You got to make them become better than they are. When they spend a half hour on the phone with you, they better believe they can climb a mountain. They never believe they can climb because you spent 30 minutes with them on a phone call in your group. That's what's going to make the difference. That's the secret. Some of you came today and go, I just need to get, I hope I get the secret from Tommy. I hope I get the secret from Christine. She's 35 million diamonds she's got. Okay, you know what? I'm going to write it down. I'm going to get the secret. Here's the secret. You are the flippin' secret. I didn't drop an F-bomb. You are it, you guys. You have been born and created to do something powerful. This business is powerful. Why? Because you become significant in the lives of people, and their lives become significant to someone else. And it's a domino effect. You cannot stop it. That's why Christine looks at the Beachbody business and says, I'm going to build this. She and John, right? I'm going to build this. One flippin' person. 20,000 people in her organization. She doesn't know all of them. She talked about how hard she worked. You know, she was an endless hard worker like Tommy. But you know what? When they got it, it's not about just putting in the time. It's not about just putting in the effort. Whose life did I touch today? It's not about you. That's the secret today. It's not about you. If you can get past that, then you won't sit every day and think, well, my life's been bad. I got these things going on. It's really sad. All this mealy mouth, wimpy ass stuff that's coming out of your mouth. Okay? I'm sorry, but it'll start to end because for me, why did I change? I said, why not me? I saw the big houses. I saw the freedom people had. I was working all night as a cop, all day in construction, killing myself. Couldn't work any more hours. And finally, I sat down one day. I'll never forget. I was at the beach in California. I lived in Manhattan Beach. And I was sitting on the beach, and I just said one day, I don't know if God just kind of hit me on top of the head. It was, why not me? Why not me? Why can't I be the difference maker? Why can't I be the life changer? And you know when I decided to do that, and I got involved in a business like the one you're involved in, and I started to make that commitment, I started to realize that all the things I'd been through had purpose. Every single thing. Sitting obese, 80 pounds overweight, sitting in the closet as a kid, crying, but hearing this voice, you're going to do something with your life someday. There was purpose in that. The abuse of stepdads, there was purpose in that. I began to see clearly the track of my life. It wasn't, geez, all these terrible things happening. I said, okay, I see it now. I see it now. Because when you can overcome it, and you can conquer it, and you now are moving forward, and you're starting to leave it behind, then all of it has purpose. It begins to bless the lives of other people when you're willing to be honest and authentic. Tommy's biggest change to me in watching him is he's authentic. Mm-hmm. He's told you stuff today he would have never told you 2.5 years ago because he was Tommy Migrant. Mm-hmm. Body transformation was silver underwear. That's who he was. His ego would not allow him to tell you, hey, dude, I was this fat guy who smoked pot every day. I was messed up in my life, and I had to change my life. See, it wasn't changing what he did in the business. He did the same thing. Sure, we got the 5 steps. We added something, but he's done the same thing. But now he does the same thing because he's different. The fact that he's got a beautiful wife, and he's madly in love with her. I mean, just everything about what he's doing now is what Tommy needed to do. So how you doing? How are you doing today? Are you going to make a choice? Maybe using Dallas, Texas, February 4th, 2012, so you know what, that's it. That's it for me. I'm done blaming the past. I'm done trying to figure out why all these things happen, because I'm going to trust you, Craig, that if I move forward and I quit letting them hold me down, and I start to say, why not me, and I start to move forward, I'm going to trust you, Craig, that the purpose of my past will become real to me, and I promise you it will. I promise you it will. But you have to make that choice. You have to make that choice in your life today. And every single one of you can do that. I don't want you to leave this event without getting who we are, what our message is. Our message is you. That's why leaders stand up here and, I know where all these leaders, Charlene, all of them, they pray before they get up here. God, just make me say something that somebody out there will be moved so that their life will change. I don't know what it is, God. And I don't even, sometimes people say to me, what are you going to talk about? I go, I'll let you know when I get up there. I don't know, okay? And that's true. But my point is, I pray that God, there's got to be one person. If there's one person here that I can say one thing where they say, that's it. I'm stripping off all of this. I'm done with all of this. I get it. I get who we really are. We're not just a Shakeology business. We're not just a P90X business. We're not a business just of products, you guys. We're a business of people who move people because they change their lives. Mm-hmm. And you now your life becomes a story for someone else. Your life becomes a story for someone else. And that's what you guys have. And that's who we are. That's why, Jimmy talks about 1,000 people. You guys, with the leadership you have here right now in Texas, and I look around this room, and I look at some of you, and I look at some of you in the eye, and I look at the intensity of your lives, and you guys need this business. Mm-hmm. You need it for so many reasons. And it's here for you. And I think, gosh, if you don't leave here, and by this, I think it's April 27th, whatever, Super Saturday, if you don't put 1,000 people, it's up, you guys are crazy. I mean, you have the answers. Just get your face out of your own face and quit spending all day like this. Oh, my poor life. Things are really suck. Things aren't good for me. Craig, I know I heard you speak. It was good, but, it just didn't get me. Right? It didn't, Craig, you're talking to the masses, but Craig, my life, man, you have no idea, dude, what I've been through. You know what? I don't know what you've been through. But this is just me again, and I'm not trying to be spiritual, but God does, right? And so you know what? Do something about it. That's kind of my message. You got the 5-step thing. You got what's the main thrust of that? Build relationships. Let people know you care about them. So you don't go to the damn grave with this dream inside you that you've had all your life, and you're just too afraid to go out and sing that song or whatever that is that you've been given to do. You all have that. 3 months ago, my dad died, right? Sudden. My dad, he's really my stepdad, but he's the only dad I ever known. My mom died 2 years ago. My stepdad dies, and my brother calls me and gives me a 911 text. I go, well, that's not good. I call him, and my dad, he's slumped over a computer dead. Gone. Doctor just gave him this incredible report. He'd been on Shakeology for 6 months. Been walking every day. Doctor says, you're going to live another 20 years. Boom, gone. Gone, my dad. So I go up there, and we go through all the stuff we have to go through in the estate and all this stuff. So we go out to the graveyard to... he's going to be he's cremated, and his urn's going to be put on top of my mom's. But we went out there, and I just went to where my mom was buried. And I looked around, and some of you, y'all have lost parents, or you've been to a graveyard, and I looked around at these gravestones. And I just thought about how many of these people are in this ground right now who never, ever lived their dream. They never, ever sang that song that they were supposed to sing, or wrote that book, or did the things they were going to do because their past held them back. Or they were just too afraid to do it. Or life got in the way. And I looked at that, and as I stared at that gravestone, I realized that there's 2 dates on every one of those headstones. 2 dates. There's the day you're born, and then God willing, nobody takes their life, the day you die, and you don't have control over either one of them. But you know what I realize is? We all got the dash. That dash is our life, you guys. That dash between that date and that date is what we have to live. And I looked at those dashes, and I said, what do those dashes represent? Is that guy a great dad? Was it a great mom? Were they a great grandma? Did they go out and live their life to the fullest? Did they take that plate of potential and empty it by the time they were dead? What does that dash represent? So how you doing? How's your dash look? What's going on in that? Because that's all we have, you guys. When we're dead and gone, there'll be 2 dates. The dash is your life. And every single one of you have potential to do mighty works. To fill a room, to put 20,000 people in your organization, one person at a time, that you transform their life because of who you are and what you become to them. Because you cared. Just a simple thing. You cared. And sometimes it's not just talking. Sometimes we just want to like Tommy was talking, we just want to spew stuff on people. We just want to tell them all this information. Sometimes it's just getting up close to them and putting your arm around them and holding them. Just really close. Just, hey, bro. It's all right, man. Somebody like Jackie, just give her a hug and say, you know what, babe, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be good. So it's not the words all the time, you guys. It's listening. C.S. Lewis talks about his wife dying, and if you ever read Severe Mercy, C.S. Lewis was madly in love with his wife. And he talks about her dying, he was sitting next to her. They had the showing, and he was sitting next to her. And person after person came in to